People wanted me to help out for the quiz on Friday, so here I go. I'm just gonna go through the concepts that are a little bit confusing, and some people didn't get it when Miss Sundstrom or Miss Hermans, whoever you have, didn't explain it in class. So all of the molecules in our body are basically macromolecules. That means they're polymers built of smaller building blocks, and the building blocks are called monomers. And three of the four classes of life's organic molecules are polymers, carbohydrates, proteins, and nucleic acids. The other one, lipids, is just a special type of molecule that's put together in a certain way, not exactly a polymer. And so the way that polymers come together, monomers come together to make polymers, they come together in a dehydration reaction. Dehydration because water is lost. As you can see, there's a polymer here and a monomer, and they want to be together. And one side has a H and one side has a OH, and that's typical of any linkage that you'll see. So to link three to this little ball away to make H2O, and these lines connect and everything's happy, and it's one big polymer now. And this is really important, this is really basic, because in lipids, carbs, nucleic acids, and proteins, this is the way that those molecules come together. And the opposite's true too. If you want to break up a polymer into monomers or just separate polymers, just you add water and it reverses the reaction. The bond here, there's a OH and OH on the respective sides now, complete opposite of what was there before. The first type of macromolecules that we're going to go over is nucleic acids. Basically, it's just DNA, RNA. They carry genes and they carry the amino acid sequence for proteins to be formed, and they're made of nucleotides. Like I just said before, DNA provides directions for its own replication and includes all the genes. That's what's in the nucleuses of the cells in our body. RNA helps make proteins because messenger RNA takes the information from DNA, goes to ribosomes, and it makes proteins, which we'll go over later. And this is just a picture of that. So DNA is over here, and messenger RNA, mRNA, takes what's in the DNA, goes out of the nucleus, goes into the ribosome, where it takes the information and it makes the protein out of amino acids, which are the monomers of proteins. And I don't think you need to know much about this yet, but just know the basic process. Okay, this is just a closer look at how DNA and RNA look, and these yellow balls here are phosphate groups. So right here, it's a phosphate group, and the phosphate group is going to be attached to a sugar, usually a pentose because there's 5 carbons. And off of that, there's a nitrogenous base, which is cytosine, thymine, uracil, adenine, or guanine. And the sequence of these make up our DNA, and like there's like millions of those, and the sequence of those makes us who we are. And the one difference between DNA and RNA for this is that DNA has thymine and RNA has uracil. So you will never find thymine in RNA and uracil in DNA. And this structure right here with the phosphorus sugar base, just those are nucleotides, and those are the monomers of nucleic acid. So as you can see here, they just bond to each other and make up the nucleic acid. And in DNA, another difference is it has deoxyribose sugar, and in RNA there's a ribose sugar. Just the one main difference is ribose has an extra O here that deoxyribose doesn't. I mean, it's pretty simple. Deoxy means one less oxygen. Okay, RNA molecules usually exist as single chains, like this one right here is just a single chain, but DNA, it exists as 2 chains that wrap around each other. So this chain would have another chain right next to it that bonds to it. And the structure is called a double helix. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's like this spirally cool thing. And the 2 chains run opposite each other, and it's referred to as anti-parallel because it's like one side is straight and the other side you flip it around and then they bond together. And again, I'm sure you guys already know this from other bio classes, but adenine pairs with thymine, guanine pairs with cytosine, and in RNA, as I said before, thymine becomes uracil. So A and U pair up. As you can see, this is just a picture of DNA. Um, the blue here is the sugar and the phosphate, and those yellows are the nitrogenous bases. You can see how the A and T's fit together and the C and G's fit together to make the pairs. Um, as you can see, there's a 5 apostrophe 3 apostrophe here. That just means the direction that they're running. One runs from 5 to 3, and one runs from 3 to 5 down here. And I'll just show you what that's about real quick. And that just indicates that the 5 carbon is on top and the 3 carbons on the bottom, or that the 3 carbons on top and the 5 carbons on bottom. As you can see, that just shows if it's upright or upside down in the chain. I mean, this is some pretty self-explanatory stuff. So I'll stop this video.